So if you're watching this video, you're probably wondering, how do I actually make money as a creator? And more importantly, how do you make your first 6 figures? I'll be real, I am not an Ali Abdaal, I am not a Chris Do, I am not a Vanessa Lau, I am not an Alex Hormozi. These people have made way more money than me. But the beauty of everything is, while it did take me a lot longer, and I took the last 5 years trying to figure out a monetization stream that I felt good about, you don't need to be a genius to make this type of money either. I think in the past, when people used to ask me, hey Kevin, do you regret quitting pharmacy at all? I used to hesitate a lot and just be like, oh, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. But now when people ask me, do you ever regret quitting pharmacy? Do you actually make a living doing what you do? I can now say that, dude, I'm thriving and I'm loving the work that I do right now. And it took me a long time to get there. It almost took me about 5 years to get to this point. Over the years, I've tried various things like agency work, freelancing, copywriting, and affiliate marketing. But it wasn't until last year, until the last quarter, where I made most of my revenue. I was like breaking down where I was like, this actually feels relatively easy. Now, of course, it's always like a lot more difficult than it seems on the surface, but it's kind of crazy where 20% of the work I was doing was leading to 80% of my profits. And today, I want to share it in this video. But I have a very unsexy truth that you need to hear. So here's the really unsexy truth. You know how in my title I wrote, I make 10K per month? Sometimes I make more, sometimes I make less, but the average is about 10K per month. And as you watch this video, you're gonna understand why. I'm not trying to clickbait you guys. And I don't think a YouTube title being like, hey, sometimes I make more than 10K, sometimes I make less than 10K is a very sexy title. It's the truth. But 6 figures for me, it means a lot because a lot of my friends around me, we make 6 figures. Back in pharmacy, I made close to 150K per year. But the thing is, as I was doing that career, I always felt burnt out. And something I think about, especially this year, is about clean energy. How do I make money where it feels good, where it feels in alignment, where I don't feel burnt out? Because here's the truth, even if you have a 30K month, if you're always drained, tired, or it doesn't feel good, then you'll just want to quit. It's not sustainable. Vanessa Lau actually talked about this in her recent video about coming back to YouTube and trying to create content as a creator. Like I mentioned earlier before, when I was doing high ticket sales, especially for ClickFunnels Guru clients, they weren't really focused on impact or helping people. They were so focused on revenue and trying to make more and more money. And I was like, all for what? And sometimes, even when I have coaching clients too, or advisory or consulting clients, I would have people who just wanted an ROI. And although that is important for things like sales and high ticket closing and all that, it's not everything. And like Vanessa Lau said in her recent video, after coming back to YouTube after a few years, or after her year-long sabbatical, I personally believe that finding work that you love is a must. It's a necessity. It's not like optional because, again, the goal is to be a sustainable creator. Because even if you make 30K per month, you're just gonna wanna quit after the first month if you don't feel good about it. And I'm not sure if you guys ever feel this too, but a good example of not dirty money, but not clean money is actually selling courses. You'll find a lot of your favorite YouTube gurus will tell you to sell courses, but for me personally, I never felt good about it. I used to sell this course called Kick-Ass Investing, and while it was fun, something felt off because I see it personally as a dying industry, especially with more and more free content being uploaded every single day and AI coming out. At the end of the day, do people really need a course? Personally, I don't think so at all whatsoever. Today, I wanted to share how I make all my revenue with the estimated numbers. I want to share the 5 ways that feel very clean to me in my business. And hopefully you can take inspiration and figure out something that works for you. Keep in mind, these are based off my strengths. Just because I do this doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Everybody is a little bit different. And if you want 30 ways to make money, you can go find your favorite ClickFunnels Guru YouTuber.
Why you poor?
But let's get started. Okay, let's talk about method 1, affiliate marketing. I make about $500 to $1,000 per month per affiliate program on average. Not all of them are the same, and it's something that you guys should know that too. But if you don't know what affiliate marketing is, it's pretty much promoting a product or service or software or any offer. And if people use your link, you get a certain commission, anywhere from 10 to 30%. There's some offers that have recurring commissions. There's some offers that are just one-time commissions. So it's just something to keep in mind. But when I first got into affiliate marketing, it was back in 2017. During my days as a pharmacist. I used to follow this YouTuber. His name was Malin Darris, and he had this community called Mad Society. I think it was about $1,000 per year. And I read about people using paid media, so like Facebook ads, the Rev content ads, like those weird, like those ads that people put on those blog posts on Forbes magazines and all that. Some of them are really clickbaity. But some people were making over $1,000 per day through Facebook ads and Rev content. There's a few other companies too. While this was actually really, really cool to read about, the problem was that half these offers, they were just super scammy. I remember one of the products one time, it was on ClickBank of all places, and ClickBank is one of those places where you can find affiliate offers. I wouldn't recommend going there. But I remember seeing a product called the Diabetes Cure, and I was like, bro, how unethical would that be? Especially as a pharmacist trying to sell that. I was like, I can't do this. Affiliate marketing is not for me. But it wasn't until a few years later where I discovered a more ethical approach to affiliate marketing. And that was just reviewing products that I genuinely love. There's a lot of products out there that actually have their own affiliate program. So all you gotta do is type in the product and write affiliate program, and you can sign up for free usually. And the first time I ever did it was like when I was reviewing courses. So if you remember me from my dark ClickFunnels days, I reviewed Dan Locke's program because I actually really loved it at the time, but then it changed and started feeling very unethical because he was charging a shit ton for his crappy product. And then I started reviewing Ali Abdal's program, PTYA, and I was the top affiliate for that program too. But it wasn't until I started producing these things where I realized that the limitation, like with courses and offers and stuff, there is constant changes in the content, right? So what you might say one day might change another day. And if you do something like an Amazon product or a camera review or like the 5-minute journal, I've done that before just because I thought it was a great product. It's so low ticket that it's not worthwhile. Maybe make $2, $3 on a course. Sometimes one sale could bring in $500 to $1,000. But the problem is it's only a one-time transaction. I started thinking, well, how do I make monthly recurring revenue, right? So basically making monthly income every single month. And that's when I started focusing on SaaS companies. This is known as software as a service. Not only do I find it a lot more ethical than like some of the other crappy services, but people are usually happy to pay month to month for a longer time period. And as a result, I just make monthly commissions from it. If you're curious to see how I've done it, you should check out some of the reviews I've done. I've done reviews for things like short form, Readwise Reader, and my favorite, Go High Level. So I have all that. And those are actually really great tools that people use that are a little bit complicated. And they're high ticket enough where people are just like, ooh, is this really worth it? So I think that's why those reviews have been able to do so well. But if you're curious about how much I make, on a bad month, sometimes I'll make $100 for one review per review. On good months, sometimes I've made as high as like $1,500 per month. And before you go like, oh my God, I need to do this, keep in mind, these videos that I create, and if you follow me on Instagram, you know, I put anywhere from 100 to 200 hours of like research, editing, reviewing, and it's really, really time consuming too. And while these SaaS, like these subscription services are really, really great, the commissions aren't always consistent, but your baseline goes up over time, if that kind of makes sense, right? So sometimes I'll make 100, then 500, then 1,000, and then back to 100. But over time, it goes up and up and up. So I can kind of estimate that like, no matter what, I'll make $300 per month just from one thing. Something I also do for affiliate marketing is like, I try to make my offers like exclusive. Like, it's not enough to just post a link. Something I try to do is like, you know, give people like a discovery call or give a exclusive offer for people that use my link. So for example, I negotiate special deals with a lot of these companies because I'm in sales, right? I know how to negotiate. And I also partner up for bonuses, and sometimes I'll jump on a Zoom with people. A good example is like for my Go High Level review, I actually partnered up with my friend Mike Kim, who actually provides, he has this service called Brand New Funnels, and all he does is provide service, customer support, just for like 70 bucks or 100 bucks extra. And I'm like, oh, that's a really, really great service. So I just promote that. And anybody that uses my Go High Level account, I try to give them things like my high ticket sales templates and all that. I'll probably do a separate video on that. While affiliate marketing isn't life-changing money at this moment right now, honestly, use this to pay a lot of my YouTube team. My YouTube expenses cost anywhere from, as I'm producing higher and higher quality content these days, it can cost anywhere from $800 to $1,600 per month, which is quite a bit. But a lot of this income goes toward there. But that is not my primary driver, and it's getting really, really late here and I'm freezing my ass off. It's time to go to the next location so I can break down the second stream of revenue here. Let's go to my next revenue stream, my YouTube Creator Mastermind. This makes about $500 to $600 per month per client. Now, if you're like, this is a lot of money, that's because this mastermind is actually catered toward more businesses versus like regular people. I know a lot of people can't afford $500 to $600 per month, but you know, a lot of these people are just making a minimum of anywhere from 60 to 100K per year through their business, if not more, honestly. But the YouTube Mastermind is my newest venture. And honestly, it's something that I'm most passionate about out of all the projects that I have. If you're asking, well, what the heck is a mastermind? In short, I look at it as a peer advisory group for YouTubers, especially like us social media people. We need help with our content packaging, which includes our topics, our thumbnails, our titles, or sometimes we need help just like, we just want people just to listen to us, like a therapy type of thing. And so my role as a mastermind host, I guess, if that's even a thing, is like, I'm kind of like a party host where my role is just to bring people together and bring the right mix of people and create a very synergistic group. So I have a lot of six-figure creatives, artists, people. I have like YouTube strategists on YouTube and a lot of business people in general who are really high-level business owners. And it's kind of cool bringing all these people in one room because we basically, in a sense, advise each other and just support each other too. And I try to host a in-person event as well. With the mastermind, it is kind of an art and skill to this because not everybody gets along with each other. Something that Vanessa and a few of my friends have told me that is that I'm a super connector, and it's kind of cool just bringing all these people in one room together. And if you're just like, oh, Kevin, you just host a party and that's how you make your money, behind the scenes, what you don't see is like I work on securing deals for courses, putting together a preferred vendor list for editors, basically like a referral list where you can find really good editors instead of like guessing, spraying, and praying. And I try to get group discounts for specialists to hold office hours in my program. So for example, it might cost you $200 per hour to hire a specialist just to talk. But because I have group buying power, I can host an office hour and kind of mitigate that cost and benefit everyone in the group. From a business standpoint too, like I love masterminds because they generate, again, monthly recurring revenue. And that's an important theme, right? Like that you'll see is because I can actually control my expenses. I can expect monthly income every single month, but it is a lot of work. It's not just completely passive. What people don't really see a lot of times is like I'm constantly gauging what people need and checking up on them. And if someone is down, like in the group, I want to help them out because I actually care about these people in my mastermind. So I tend to shoot them a personal phone call or a message just to check up on them. At the moment right now for my mastermind, I charge about $6,000 for 1 year or $36,000 for half a year. But I can see this definitely changing because my operation costs are getting higher and higher. The more specialists I have and all these things, they're starting to increase. So I need to make sure that my profit margins are there. Also, as I'm doing my mastermind too, I'm like thinking about who is my target audience and who are the people I really want to charge. You know, like Imagine if I could charge 10x the amount and then do a free mastermind for regular creators. How rewarding would that be? And just help like high-end creators or business owners who want to jump in the YouTube game. Why not do that? So far though, most of the people joining my creator mastermind are business owners and some like high-end creators, but they're the more established creators. But overall, that's going to come later. But overall, running the creator mastermind and providing a supportive space has been so rewarding for me. And by the way, quick plug, if you want to join my creative mastermind, make sure to apply for the waitlist, and I'll leave the link in the description below. So I had to go in because it was freezing cold outside. And I hope you like my mom's floral prints over here. But the third way I make my revenue is through high ticket sales services. So this generates anywhere from $3,000 to $30K per month. And you might be like, wow, that's a huge difference, because this is known as the crazy world of high ticket closing. And honestly, it's how I make a lot of my money. If you don't know what high ticket closing is, it's basically where I provide remote freelance sales services to clients. If you're asking like, what do you sell, Kevin? It's like half the time, it's whatever my client is selling. So if they have high ticket offers, like coaching offers or anything like that, that is what I'm selling. To be honest, I don't even really call it sales. It's more like advisory, business advisory, YouTube advisory. Recently, I actually started working with Ali Abdal, and he has been my dream client since 2020. And it's really, really cool just be able to kind of help his organization out with high ticket sales. And I'm pretty much his unofficial, I guess, head of sales for his part-time YouTube academy and accelerator, his high ticket program. I think one of the hardest things about using this as income is finding the right client. But since working with Ali, it's been really, really amazing for me just because of our aligned values. He's very authentic. He is very anti like ClickFunnels guru-y, anti like super salesy people. And what's amazing is that he trusts my work. Sometimes with smaller clients, they're very micromanagey, or they have an opinion about everything because they don't know what they're doing. And a lot of times you're playing these battles that it's not that great working with them. And believe it or not, I've gotten scammed by one of these people before. And of course, did I mention, we both hate the Wolf of Wall Street vibes too. If you're curious about how much I make, my earnings can range anywhere from $500 to $1,500 per day. This depends on a lot of different factors like my availability. I typically only do 2 to 3 hours per day. And this can vary due to the market fluctuations in the market, the lead generation, advertising costs. But right now, it's really just really chill. I don't ever have to push for sales or anything like that. And it's just really chopping up with people that with aligned values, talking about how we can help them. And a lot of times I just end up making more and more friends on these Zoom calls, which is really great. And some of you're probably watching this video right now from these calls. My typical day, honestly, is pretty chill. I spend 1 to 3 hours on Zoom per day just doing consultation calls, kind of like my days back when I was a pharmacist. If you're curious about this field, usually it comes with a commission of like 10 to 20% is really, really standard in this industry. It gets a little bit more complex because there's factors like brand reputation, lead quality, number of appointments booked, and all that. There's a famous saying that Peter Drucker has, all profit is derived from risk. So usually the less risk that is involved, the lower the commissions. The higher risk, I bump up my commissions too. But since I've been in high ticket sales for a while, I usually have a minimum retainer to offset this risk. And it also holds my client accountable for continuing to generate leads for me and to get my advisory too, because there's a lot of things that go beyond sales calls that you need to charge for. Typically, when I start with a client, I usually negotiate a base of $3,000 to $8,000 per month plus commission, or sometimes if they're like not as big, I'll do an or commission, meaning they pay whatever is higher. So if I'm taking more risk, I have to make sure that the profit justifies my involvement. But sometimes, especially these days, I only have so much capacity to do high ticket closing. So there's this fourth way I make money. as a YouTuber. Let's talk about the fourth way I make revenue. It's high ticket sales advisory. So this can make anywhere from 10 to 30K per engagement, which sounds like a lot, but these don't come as often, and these are actually the most draining things for me. So I don't like to take them that often. But sometimes what happens is sometimes clients want advice rather than hands-on involvement, especially if businesses already have sales teams in place. If you have a certain niche, you can charge a high ticket price or premium price for this. I like to think of this as almost like management consulting, where I help both like large established companies and business owners looking for either high ticket sales coaching for their teams. And my goal is to help clients find the high leverage opportunities to maximize their sales conversations without hurting their brand. A lot of times people can be so focused on conversions that they give off the Wolf of Wall Street vibes, and people just don't vibe with that. And actually there's like people go on Reddit or people go online and just say, this person really sucks and I don't ever want to do business with them. I'm trying to avoid that. Oftentimes my role of what I do is like, how do I make this conversation a lot more human? How do I remove the sales vibe from the offer while still aligning to the business? And while this generates the most amount of revenue, honestly, like I said earlier, this is the most energy intensive for me. And in the past, I used to have like high ticket sales coaching, helping beginners get into high ticket sales. But what I realized was that helping beginners was way harder than helping experienced businesses. Beginners tend to have so much to learn. Like, not only do they not know how to sell, but they don't know how to get a client, and they don't even know how to keep a client because a lot of them are kids and they're starting with zero experience, which is really, really difficult. So that's actually exactly why I shifted my strategy, because I'm literally teaching the same things, but since businesses that already have some sort of momentum, all I need to do is make one small shift and it can make a bigger result because they have leverage, unlike beginners. And that's why I really shifted my strategy, because now I offer a lot of my programs, my courses, all that for free for beginners, and then focus my efforts on established businesses like Ali Abdal. To give you an idea of how much you can make off these sales team enablement solutions, I know it's like very consulting type of words, but a 7 to 8 figure business reached out to me and they don't even blink at 50 to 100K for sales training. Plus, working with these businesses and making a bigger impact is way more rewarding to me than helping a beginner find a client. I hate to say it, but it's true. I can also get results a lot quicker compared to a beginner client as well, who doesn't have an offer or a client and all these other things that are a pain. But these are all active forms of income. This next one is probably one that you heard of, but is the most passive in my opinion. YouTube AdSense, pretty much every creator's dream over here. And honestly, YouTube AdSense is probably one of the most passive ways to earn YouTube money as a YouTuber. But the thing is, it's incredibly unpredictable. In the good old days, I used to pocket anywhere from $500 to $700 per month through AdSense. But with the dip in the channel of me having to remove some of my most popular videos because some people didn't want to be famous anymore or be viral anymore, my earnings now fluctuate between $80 to $120 per month, which sucks. Because I've seen the back end of some creators like Vanessa Lau and Ali Abdal and Chris Do, they make thousands of dollars on the back end, right? Sometimes 10,000, sometimes 20,000. It's really, really crazy. But a lot of YouTubers, they actually use AdSense to cover their operational costs. And I used to do the same back in the day, but now with these lower earnings, it's not a reliable main source of income for me. So recently I've been talking to Vanessa Lau's old YouTube strategist, and we've been trying to strategically place ads to increase the CPM and RPM on our videos. That's pretty much how much you get paid for 1,000 views. To give you an idea of my CPM and RPM, for business videos, it can be anywhere from $50 to $150 for every 1,000 views. If I do relationship videos like my breakups, they only get $5. So sure, while I love enjoying making those relationship videos, they don't really contribute that much financially. And so AdSense makes the smallest bit of my revenue, but every bit counts, I guess, right? And so these are the 5 different ways that I make my revenue. But I am excited for one thing. Back in my childhood room. Next year will probably be my highest revenue year. And as I was planning out this year, I was like, man, this might be my biggest financial year yet, because now, instead of one quarter where I was doing a lot of these, now I have bigger clients, I have all my offers kind of taken care of, and I just need to really optimize my whole sales funnel, for lack of better words, basically my whole customer journey of like making sure that my offers get better and better over time. Looking ahead, I wouldn't be surprised if I started raking in $250,000 or more next year. But honestly, to get here, it hasn't been short or easy, and there's still plenty of room like going forward too. I get really inspired by people, like working with people like Ali Abdal and Chris Do and Vanessa, and it hasn't been short or easy. I've actually struggled quite a bit. The way I like to think about it though is like I'm in a PharmD program just for entrepreneurship. And despite the ups and downs, and trust me, there were a lot of downs, like for sure, I'm really thankful for every lesson I learned. And you know, I think one thing I really am grateful for is my resilience of being able to pick myself back up and being able to kind of detach myself from any external results too. Of course, there are some smaller things like random power hours or random consulting gigs I do get once in a while, but I don't count them as much because they're not as consistent as some of the other revenue streams as well. Anyways, do you like these business videos? Let me know if you like these videos, like business advice or life advice from your best friend. And if you are interested in things like high ticket sales and stuff, I actually have a full course that you can check out, which I'll leave somewhere here, and it's completely free, no strings attached. All right, I gotta get to dinner. I will see you guys later. Take care. Peace.